All right. Well, good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. Oh my gosh, I gotta tell you what, I hardly slept all weekend. I'm kind of laughing because I'm just like, I sleep so well, but I've just had so many awesome ideas going through my head that it's been hard to sleep. So I hope you guys are feeling the same way. We've got so many cool things going on here. But first of all, it is Monday. Everybody knows what to do on a Monday. And I know some of you guys are going for rank. So I know we're going to be doing lots of three-way calls today. I know we're going to be wrapping up some bronzes today, working on wrapping up some royales today. Really excited about that. I know some of you had some new people come in over the weekend, which is amazing. And we've just got so many good things. And we're going to be sharing more stuff with you here over the next week as some of this stuff starts out that we've got a few ideas in play for you guys that you're absolutely going to love. And so anyway, today, last day of the commission week, last day to rank for the week, right? So we want to make sure we are logging in, make sure we are active, make sure we are qualified. What do we need to finish up rank? And like I said, I know some of you guys are on here are really close to hitting those ranks, and we're going to do everything we can to work with you to make sure that we help you finish up. So just out of curiosity, I want to know, how many of you watched the VIP training this weekend? How many of you watched the VIP training? I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, and some of you I can't see. So it was amazing. So I'm actually going to share a couple clips out of that training because some of you didn't watch it, and two, even though those of you who did watch it, I felt like there was a couple of little clips that were so incredible that we definitely need to hear more than one time. And for a lot of you, I know it was your first time hearing Mark. I know and some of you obviously watched the training last weekend, so you got to hear Mark some more, but hearing him go a little bit deeper. And I know that, you know, when we do this business, sometimes one of the things that everybody gets nervous is overcoming objections, right? So for those of you who watched that section with Mark, overcoming objections, I mean, did you love it? Right? It was incredible. So before I dive in though, because I do want to share a couple little clips that I thought were really good. Just curious, from those of you who watched the VIP training over the weekend, what were some of your biggest takeaways from that? What was something you heard that maybe you've never heard before, or what was something that you heard that maybe you needed to hear again? That you took away from that training? Because I thought they did a phenomenal job with that VIP training. Heather, yeah, go ahead. Oh, I can't hear you, Heather.
So I had to unmute. So really one of my biggest takeaways really was, because you said, what did you need to hear again? And it really was Jesse saying the core four. That is just, you know, so important. And it reminded me that I needed to, you know, dial it back and get back to the basics, because that, if you don't have the basics, then you can't move forward. And so I got back to, you know, doing those simple little things. I started that like yesterday afternoon, as soon as I did the training yesterday morning. And so when I finished it, I was like, you know what, I got to get back to in the basics, because if you don't have the basics, you don't have those building blocks. And so that was really my biggest takeaway. In addition to, I took so many notes. I think I took more than or just as equal amount during that than the whole weekend from everything else.
I love it. I love it. Love it. Heather, that is such a great point. And, you know, Ruth and I talk about that, guys, with you a lot. And you know that we kind of go back all the time to the basics of what is it we need to be doing. And it goes back to the 4 core, the secret 7, right? That we talk about with you guys, because that's what it is. And we try to overcomplicate it sometimes, I think. You know, we get so focused on, oh, did I do this or did I do that, that we're not actually doing those income producing activities, right? And so it's so important. And, you know, when I think back to when I first got started here at Seacret, that's exactly what I did. Like, people say all the time, well, how did you get to the rank of silver so quickly? How did you bring in 100 customers so quickly? I did the core 4. Like, that's all I focused on, was who am I talking to? Who am I slapping product on? Who am I closing? Who am I bringing into the business? And that's, what I really focus on. So I love that you shared that. And, obviously, when you first get started, you do have some more market to work with, but that's the thing, even as you guys are meeting new people, this is why it's so important to be bringing people all the way through that funnel, right? All the way through the funnel. Don't just meet people. Don't just start conversations and let these conversations go on forever. It's about getting on the Zooms. It's about talking to them about what you have. It's about getting them on a presentation and getting them closed. And, because you can have all these best friends on Facebook, but if you aren't actually taking people through this process, you're not moving your business forward in any way. So getting back to those basics. Love that, Heather.
Can I add one more thing real quick on that?
Yeah.
And so, when you said about the, have the best friends. So get creative, because, I had a conversation, I was messaging you back and forth last night. I had a Spanish speaker from Colombia. We had Google translation that was terrible, but she's going to get on a presentation tonight.
That's awesome.
Out of a Google translation conversation.
I love it. And we're getting them on with people from Colombia. So it's all going to work great, right?
Yay.
So I love it. Love it. Love it. One more, just one more, guys, because I want you to hear, I've got 2 pieces of the training. Go ahead, Angela.
I just wanted to say that, of course, everybody that attended last weekend took away some really good information, some really good tips, but that VIP training was next level. I was completely glued to it. And when we lost the streaming Saturday night, I was panicked because I really wanted to get the rest of it. But I really wanted to say, Isaac, listening to Isaac and his explanation of the future of Seacret, there can be no doubt in anybody's mind that we are exactly where we need to be.
I love that, Angela. And you are so right, because, I know a lot of times somebody's like, oh, I don't want to spend the extra for the VIP. Guys, if they offer VIP, always buy it. There are certain things, you always go to training, you always go to events, and you buy what's out there, right? You get the new products, you just do it. It's not about spending the money. It's not about getting you to do certain things. It's a lot. The reason that they do these things is to separate the people who are serious from the people who are curious, right? Is to really separate the people who want to become leaders and build a business from the people who don't. And listen, if you didn't get it, it's okay. I'm not shaming you. I don't mean it that way, but now you know for next time, right, to get it, because it is next level. And he said right at the very beginning, we're doing leadership training here. If people are going to spend another weekend with us, if people are going to do this, we're giving you that next level. So Angela, I love that. Thank you. So what I wanted to do, I want to share this. There's 2 little clips here I wanted to share. This first clip, just know this is from the overcoming objection section. Okay. And I really thought that these 2 things really, really, really stood out. And I know I mentioned it to Ruth. She thought the same thing. She's like, yes, these are good. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen and just make sure you guys let me know that you can hear it once I get going. So 1 second here. Oh, hang on. Do I have it up? Hold on. And just so you know, guys, if, let me go back to Zoom here. If you did not get to watch all the VIP, it is back up. And it's going to be up for this whole week, so you can now watch it. So, all right, here we go.
And it's a pretty small company, but I mean, they did about $20, $30 million a year.
Slow this down.
Back then, I guess 40 years ago, 30 years ago, it was a decent amount. And the #1 salesman in the world was a guy named Bert Leroy. Very handsome guy, had been an actor in the Philippines way back in the day. And Bert was just crushing it. And it turned out, I found out that Bert had been the #1 salesperson in the company 4 years in a row. And he didn't beat the competition, he throttled the competition. So at the end of the event, I was very up at the bar. We got to the bar afterwards, and there was a formal dinner afterwards. But I met up with Bert at the bar by chance. And I said, well, Mr. Leroy, congratulations. And I'm relatively new to the company, and I would just love it if you could just share a few things about what separates you and makes you the best. And can I buy you a drink? And he's like, yeah, sure. He was very, very nice. And we ordered drinks, and he goes, so let me ask you, remember we sold cookware. He goes, so what's your favorite thing to cook in a cookware? What do you like to cook best? And I was like, Well, remember the cookware, the big set costs a couple $1,000. The itty bitty set costs $1,000. And I'm a single guy and I don't cook at home very much. So I said that, I go, well, I'm a single guy. I don't really cook at home very much. So I don't actually have the cookware, but he laughed and he goes, you seem like a really nice guy. Thank you for the drink. Go get a set of cookware and let's meet at the bar a year from today. And I'll be happy to tell you, until you're using the product, I don't mean to be rude, but it's a waste of my time to sit here and talk to you. If you're not even using the product, there's no way you're going to compete with anyone in the top 20 until you use the cookware. And he walked off. Part of me was like, even though he was polite about it, it pissed me off. I'm like, I can't believe he just did that. And then I went into my, well, screw him mode. Like, I'm going to kick his ass. He doesn't know what's going on. But then it was just bothering me. So later, after dinner, I went up to him and I said, Mr. Roy, let me just ask a quick question. I'll go get the cookware. Can I ask you why that's so important? And this is the point. He goes, so let me guess. You seem like you're pretty articulate, pretty sharp. I bet you at the end of the presentation, people say to you over and over again, wow, this is really great cookware, but it's a little expensive for me right now. Is that true? And I was like, yes. How did you know that? And he said, because it's your objection, Mark. So whatever your real, if you have an objection on not buying the product, you're unconsciously going to project it. How many have heard of the law of attraction? Okay. He goes, you're going to get that objection over and over and over and over and over again. And right now, you have no answer to it in your head. What are you going to do? Go, I know exactly how you feel because I feel the same way. That's why I haven't bought a set. On the other hand, you buy the cookware. It's a bit of a stretch for your budget, but you buy it. You use it, you get so much value out of it. Like me, you wouldn't ever dream, especially if cooking a vegetable and any other pan on earth except ours, without getting into it, it really did cook vegetables completely different. So now when someone says, yeah, I want to buy it, but I don't have the money, it's a little expensive, you go, I understand. I know how you feel. I used to feel the same way, but I got a set. And I got to tell you, it's worth every penny. I can't believe I almost thought of letting a little bit of extra money stop me. I can't even eat vegetables in a restaurant anymore. The only way I can eat them is when I use the cookware. He goes, that's what you have to be able to say to someone. I get that objection, but when I get that objection, I slaughter it. And to be honest with you, I don't get the objection much anymore because my entire presentation, I'm talking about, how many have heard facts tell, stories sell? I'm talking about when I cook the chicken, when I cook, this is my favorite. I used to hate cabbage. I wouldn't eat cabbage as a kid. I cook cabbage in this cookware and it tastes so much better. I eat cabbage 3 times a week. It's so good. It's got so many antioxidants in. I've never felt healthier and on and on and on. It's part of my presentation. It's part of my story. You're robbing yourself because you're letting your objections stop you from doing what you're trying to get other people to do. So I told you the story just so you remember the point a little bit better. Whatever you're hearing, again.
All right. So just out of curiosity, I would love to hear what you guys think of that, because I thought that was such a great point that one, if you're not using the product, you're never going to be able to close and make a sale, right? And also sharing the benefits with people of it, not just flooding all the information on them about it. And yeah, 100% truth. You're right, Angela. You're right. Anybody else got something they took away from that?
I thought it was absolutely, it's definitely the truth. I mean, if you don't use a product, you can't sell it. I mean, even though there's some of our products I can't use all the time because of my allergies to sensitivity to fragrances, most of them I can. And even the ones that I aren't the ones that work for me best, at least I have them here. I can show them to people and I use all the rest and I smell them all. And it was like just as an example, like I don't know why I didn't show this to my parents this summer when I was living with them, but just a little nail buffer. I was eating lunch with them and I took it and I thought, I'm just going to let them see this. And so my dad's on my team, but he likes to sell in person. So COVID's kind of messed him up. But he did the nail buffer and he's like, oh my gosh. And he's like showing the waitress and he's showing the people. And he's like, he kept it. And then he used the peeling gel and he kept it. And then he took my magnetic mug mask and he's like all ready to go meet with his friends. Now he's 85, guys, and like show them all this stuff because he now knows they need it. So it's like, as he's using the stuff, he uses the green line. He's like so excited. So if you don't use something, you can't get excited about it. Anyway, that's my
100%.
take.
And that's the line right there, Genevieve. If you don't use something, you cannot get excited about it. You can't talk about it. You can't share the benefits. You don't have a story. What is it changed for you, right? What is this product doing for you? And so many times I hear people when they want to buy, they're like, yeah, well, I'm not really sure if I'd use this. I'm not really sure if I'd use that. Here's the thing. I guarantee if you try it, you'll probably use almost all of it, right? Now the skincare, maybe not all of it because we've got multiple lines and you're going to pick which line you like best, right? But when you try them, you know what it feels like, smells like, how it goes on, what it changes in your skin. And you have to be able to share that with people because not everybody is going to use what you use and you don't know what they're going to want or need, right? You don't know what it is they're looking for and you're not going to know the benefit if you're not using it as well. Does that make sense? And so a lot of times, you know, when we talk about coming in with the Have It All pack, a lot of people, you know, are just like, I don't know, it's too much. But you hear that, a $2,000 cookware set, how are you going to sell it? And it's the same thing. How are you going to sell this opportunity to somebody and get them to join you and come in with the Have It All pack if you don't believe in it yourself, right? How are you going to do that? You've got to see the value behind it. You got to see. Now, I do understand, you know, sometimes circumstances don't allow people to get it all up front and maybe you have to break it down into, but find a way because you're limiting yourself and holding yourself back without that. Carla, did you want to add something?
Yeah, so I wanted to, so one of the things that stuck out to me was you're robbing yourself from opportunity because of your objective. Like just those two words, you're robbing yourself. I guess that's 3 words. That's really powerful and that really stuck with me because I think Ruth gave an example a couple weeks ago about walking over $5 bills. Like that's like tenfold in my mind. And then the other thing in terms of next level training, what he did there was amazing that he took cookware and all of a sudden attributed it to his better health. Like a frying pan for vegetables. Now I'm eating cabbage more. Now I'm feeling better. Like that's the next level of sales training, I think. But that's why I will personally need to plug into these more because I'm not quite there yet, but I can take away, yeah, I can put more stories into my presentation. But, you know, going to that level, I'll need a bit more training for that level of sales. But anyway.
I love that, Carla. I love that. And you use the products, you know more than you think you know anyway. But, you know, just learning, you know, the wording a little bit. Does anybody else want to add? I'm going to do one more little clip that he did that's a little bit different. Does anybody else have anything, other thing they want to add on that? No? Okay. The other part, one of the things that he said, and I'm not sure, I don't know if I have this in that clip or not, but one of the things, I think this is really important, I do want to add though, before we do the next clip, is one of the things he shares, and I think sometimes we're so desperate to add people to our team that we try to, you know, and here's the thing, I can share with you from some, and I'm sure there's more of you on here, but I know Ruth and I, for instance, from some of the training we've had with our coaching, we literally could close anybody. We could close anybody. We could make anybody cry. Like, I'm not bragging, but we could, right? Like, we know how to ask those questions that really get people thinking deep. But would we do that intentionally just to get a recruit or a sale? No, right? Like, you might have the skill to do it. My point being, you want to treat customers differently than you want to treat agents, right? When you're going for new business partners, you want to sort through and find the people who want to build a business. You don't want to sell people on building a business that they don't want because they're going to come into your business and never do anything, right? So don't be so desperate for a sign up that you get really good and just sell everybody, because then they come in and do nothing, right? Customers are a little different because you can be sharing the benefits and when they use the products, they're going to love the products. But when you're doing, trying to bring in a business partner, it's sorting, not selling, right? You're still going to overcome objections, but it's sorting, not selling. Okay. So now I just wanted to, does anybody have anything to say before I do the next clip?
I'm just going to say that that's so true, because like, I'm really good at I can get people to join something, but what I haven't been good at is getting them to follow through and do something. So I have like all these people sitting on my team, like 18 of them that I personally recruited, that, most of them aren't doing a thing, but so I didn't sort right. Like they wasted my time instead of helping me. So yeah, it's true. Very true.
And just so you know, Genevieve, too, some of it is a little hard to predict sometimes, right? Because some of the most gung-ho people sometimes don't come in and do anything. But, if you feel you're doing more selling and convincing, then they're probably not the right person, or at least not right now, right? Maybe the timing just isn't right for them. All right, so I want to just pull up this other clip here real quickly, but let me share my screen one more time. Hold on, I lost the clip. Bear with me, guys.
And again is your own objection. So you need to figure out a way to answer.
Oops, hang on, guys. Try, there we go. I had a full screen so it wouldn't show up on my thing. All right, so we're just going to fast forward just a little bit.
Answer your own objection. Or but I think you're giving you, but I can go fish somewhere else. That's okay. Listen, when we talk about how to overcome objections, I know some of you wanted something like this. If someone says they don't have the money, you need to answer this way. You can certainly, I can do that, and maybe we'll do that in the future. But to me, what's much more important is what I've shared with you here. Okay, and you can get the canned responses, or I shouldn't say that. You could get the most popular ways to overcome. But the things that I have shared with you here are going to be very important, I guess. So I don't have the money. Okay, great. So if they're saying they don't have the money to be an agent, then your initial response should be, I understand. So here's the thing. If you don't have the money to be an agent, you probably don't have the money to do a lot of things. You really do want to do it, right? I mean, you're being real with me. Okay. So if you really want to do this, but you don't have the money, let me ask you a question. How long have you been in a position where you don't have the money to do things you really want to do? Is it just you're in a crisis right now, or is this a ongoing thing? It's an ongoing thing. So if you keep doing the same things you've been doing, you're probably going to keep getting the same results you've been getting. So are you basically saying to me that if I came back in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, you probably still wouldn't have the money to do it? Is it safe to say that you probably don't have the money to take your family to Disney World, to do some of the things you really want to do in your life, maybe get the vehicle you want? So let me ask you a question. Would you like to stop living like that? Would you like to have, as a matter of fact, what if you could have enough money to do anything you wanted to do anytime you wanted to do it? So I just want you to get the irony here. You're saying you don't have enough money to get started to do something that could totally change the way you look at money for the rest of your life. So it's your decision. And again, guys, when I reframe someone, I'm changing your channel. I just gave them a good way of looking at it. And if someone still isn't interested, that's cool. So I'm going to make a distinction here, and I don't want to confuse people, but we have two things that we do. We sell product and we recruit people to be agents. So when I'm selling, I know someone's going to say no or give me 7 objections. So it's more of a relentless. I keep going, right? I'm relentless. But when it comes to recruiting, it's very different. Recruiting is very much, and I do the guy-girl stuff from a guy's perspective. And I know maybe some ladies can't relate to it as well. And I know, gender's changing dramatically, but traditionally anyway, for me growing up, it was mostly the guy would ask the girl out. So I know guys can really relate to the fact that if you don't ask, nothing happens. You've got to be willing to ask. Now, if I ask you on a date, or maybe a better way of doing it is if I ask you to marry me, and I say, you know, I love you, would you marry me? And you go, you know, I'm not really sure. I don't know if you can afford it. I'm not really sure, you know, you're not exactly what I'd always hope for something a little better. I don't know if the quality is what I was looking for. I'm having a little fun, but you get my point. Would you want me to teach you how to overcome objections, or would you go, okay, cool, thanks. So in that case, I need a emphatic yes, this is what I want. I don't want to learn how to overcome objections. At that point, it's time for me to go somewhere else and find a better match. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
All right. So that was kind of his little thing on that, you know, when you're looking for that recruit, how you're obviously, you know, I loved his analogy where he said, you know, if you ask me to marry you and they come back with those objections, like that's how it should be for our business too, right? We can overcome them. If someone's not interested, they may just not be interested, and we don't want to beg them to be a part of this opportunity. So from that, and that money objection where he was talking about that, does anybody have any takeaway from that they'd like to share? Anybody? No? Okay. But would you agree that what he said was true? Right? That it's a great way to talk with people and reframe them, because, you know, if that's the way they're living and they're miserable and they want more, we have to reframe them. We have to help them get past some of those belief barriers that they may have. And asking, not telling, asking the right questions is going to allow them to think it through and answer for themselves. And that's when they really have those big moments and those breakthroughs. So let me just look here. You can share from the heart with more integrity. Absolutely. I love it, love it, love it. All right, so good. Yes, form is important. You're right, Lester. Absolutely. So did you guys find that valuable? You find that valuable? Okay, perfect. Did anybody else have anything they want to share? Ruth, did you want to add anything?
No, I'm good, Trish. I loved the part about distinguishing between customers and recruits, because when we try and convince someone to do a business, it never works.
100%. So that's what I've got today, guys. But I really thought that those things were really huge takeaways. And like I said, if you watched them already, I hope hearing it again just really made it sink in a little deeper. And if it was your first time watching, now you know some of what was covered in the VIP. You know some of what you missed out on. And if you got it and haven't watched it yet, go watch it. And if you haven't gotten it, make sure to get it next time. So anyway, guys, it's Monday again, last day of the week for the commissions. Check your back office, make sure you're active, make sure you're qualified. I know I've got lots of calls with a lot of you guys today, wrapping up ranks, and I can't wait to celebrate you. So let's make it an awesome day. Bye for now.